Okay, okay. Greetings. What is up, everybody? Starting early, an hour early. Let me just say thanks. Say thanks to shout out to the thanks to Leo Kings. Also, yeah, thanks to Leo Kings for letting me know about this live. I took a little bit of a delayed time getting on. I took a little nap, a mini nap. Um, this girl in Texas has been found, by the way. I'm gonna read an article, but I decided to switch the title of the stream because the girl's found, the girl in Texas. Two different stories. That's not the same person, obviously, as the girl in Florida. Um, I changed the topic of the stream because I didn't think it was really would need to do a whole live because she's found and safe and alive. The other girl, the Texas girl. Uh, Let me just show you the tweet, and then we'll move on to the Florida girl. But for those that are, because I know that we have a lot of Texas people that watch. Um, it says 12-year-old Emilia Hughes was found unharmed in Columbus, Texas. No other info at this time. Though I saw somebody somewhere. I don't know if it's true. You know, I'd put it in the rumor mill. I don't know where I saw it. It's all like a blur to me. Somebody text me. Somebody's DM me something. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody had said supposedly that like she was with some older guy and the guy was arrested. Supposedly, allegedly. You know, I don't know. So thankfully she's safe. She left like early morning hours, snuck out of the house, and got into a truck. One of the things that I did notice and saw that 12-year-old girl, she was on TikTok. And I don't know, that app already makes me kind of, you know, not so sure about that app TikTok for kids. Um, There's just a lot going on in that app. I don't even think they have like restricted mode, because like YouTube has YouTube Kids. I don't know if TikTok has like a TikTok Kids. TikTok is kids, and it has all kinds of adult stuff on there. Um, so yeah, my daughter even asked me about it because there's a little girl in her class that has TikTok, and but I just didn't feel comfortable with it. For her. I'm not ready for her to do that now. So what we're gonna do is with Madeline, we're gonna listen to the Nancy. I haven't listened to the Nancy Grace. A lot of people might have already listened. Um, this is a live feed right now, though, in the background playing, and they're still searching for this girl's body. I don't know if the chopper's leaving. There's a couple of times that it looks like the chopper's leaving, but then it seems like maybe it's just circling a certain area. But Madeline has not been found. She is presumed dead, however. I actually got an interesting DM on Facebook. And this person told me, I know someone who knows the mom of Madeline. And she said that she feels that Jennifer's behavior is not in line with the woman she knows. She said that she is a very emotional and passionate, and that she's not seen her upset in the past. And that she's seen her upset in the past over smaller things. She's worried some things off. So this person claims to know somebody that knows the mother, and that person says that the mother is apparently an emotional person, and she's gotten upset over small things, but like her reaction to the daughter's disappearance is kind of like, oh, well, yeah. So suppose somebody claims it's kind of weird. Um, so yeah, for the people just joining, the Texas girl that was missing, she's found. So I figured we don't need to do a live stream because I didn't even cover it. Thankfully, she's found and safe. So we switched back to Madeline, and I figured we listen to the Nancy Grace episode. And what I was warned by Stacy earlier is be careful because there's some information that's not correct, apparently, supposedly on Nancy's podcast. But besides that, it's a good podcast. Oh, there was a Florida chase today, apparently, that we missed. There's a 50-second clip. Ooh. Them boys don't play. Florida don't play. Check this out real quick. Florida don't
on I-95.
F around.
And then it made its way over to the Hollywood area, it looks like, and now we saw it pass by Pembroke Road going westbound. So
them boys
hopefully
don't
they can
play.
get on top of this soon, because we're keeping an eye on the clock right now. It's 4:41. You guys know it's a Friday. Usually people have plans after.
How did I miss this?
And it looks like something came out of that car, and now it's going in the wrong direction. Hopefully we don't
them
see
boys don't
traffic,
play. Don't give a
oncoming
shit.
traffic, because we talk about this all the time. Whenever it happens,
Nah, we're gonna break that bumper off. I've seen them do it on a high-speed chase. I've seen them in a high-speed chase with other cars around. The cops just ram a car. They don't play around.
It's typically busy. We see a lot of roads in this.
Yeah,
area,
come on, your hands up.
This is more.
We ain't worried about your safe space.
Residential area.
Get your ass down on the ground.
Nobody gets injured in this, but you can see police there hot on its tail, and that car has now come to a stop. We did see.
We ain't playing that safe space bullshit. Get down, motherfucker. Right about that bullshit. Anyway. Sorry, I got into my little chase mode. So, all right, let's listen to Nancy. I don't know what happened with this live feed. It just went blank. They've been over an hour kind of hovering around. Kind of the same thing. It looks like they're doing a massive search. She's presumed to be dead. Oh, there's the chat. The chat had gone away. I don't know why it came back, I guess. We'll restart the stream as soon as the chopper is back up. Oh, okay, I guess the chopper left. Chopper's down and out. All right, so I'll replay a little bit of the scenery. We're going to listen to some Nancy. Have you had oh, yeah, I've had plenty to eat today. I ate a lot today. I took a little nap. I had 2 sandwiches and stuff. I'm good. Really, Missy? Hi, baby. You are? Oh, God. What are you making? Oh, okay, good. You need help or you good? All right, let me know. Okay. Betty said she's making her own drink. I'm like, oh boy. The other day she made an apple juice with pretzel and granola bar, Kellogg's granola bar. I was like, oh Lord. But she's actually just pouring herself a drink right now. All right, so yeah, let's get into Nancy. We talked about the mother in the last stream too, and Stacy called in, and now I shared the DM that this person sent me, which is really interesting. I really hope that there's nothing to the mother. I'm going to try to hold out. I hope there's nothing to her. All right, Nancy. By the way, let me check real quick. What was the last thing she posted? Sometimes maybe she posted another episode. Oh, the pregnant Amish, no suspect. That's a weird story too. Maybe we'll cover that at some point. That pregnant Amish woman that was murdered, no suspect. Let me help you, baby. Let's start this.
Now streaming on Hulu.
Ready for a
smoker or
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace.
A 13-year-old little girl seemingly vanishes into thin air. Her birthday was February 22, and she had said in the past, when I turn 13, I want to go away from everybody and go live alone in the woods. And right now, I think I know why. Is this little girl still alive? Where is Maddie? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. Right off the top, there is a very strong chance Maddie could still be alive. Tip line 407-254-7000. Repeat, 407-254-7000. Every minute counts. with what we are dealing with right now. Her mother devastated. And in the last hours, around 10 p.m. last night, a break in the case, but still no Maddie. First of all, take a listen to Sheriff John Mina, Orange County.
This is every parent's worst nightmare. Many of our detectives and deputies who are working the case, they also have children, so they're working extra hard to find Madeline. We can't even imagine the pain and anguish that Madeline's family is going through. But I do want to assure the community that we have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel who are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now.
Okay, well, let me find out.
And we will not stop until we find her.
Over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, special.
Now streaming on Hulu.
Oh, God, I restarted. Can you guys give me a source of that? You're saying she's found? Where are they saying she's found? WFTV on X. Okay, let me check it out. Hold on. Thank you. Oh, shoot. You guys are right. Wow. Damn. All right, let me fix the title then. Damn, bad time for the chopper to go away. Okay.
Heartbreaking update in the search for this 13-year-old girl.
Very tragic news for anyone.
Demand letters from Social Security and the options those on.
Okay. Well, all right, we'll listen to the Nancy thing, and we'll see for any new updates that come with that.
Looking to make a change?
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace.
A 13-year-old little girl seemingly vanishes into thin air. Her birthday was February 22, and she had said in the past, when I turn 13, I want to go away from everybody and go live alone in the woods. And right now, I think I know why. Is this little girl still alive? Where is Maddie? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. Right off the top, there is a very strong chance Maddie could still be alive. Tip line.
Nancy's podcast is outdated. Detective Vid says that last chopper feed showed what looked like a body under a sheet by the abandoned house. So, WFTV says sources say Madeline Soto's body discovered in a rural Osceola County. Wow. Let me see. I'll keep playing Nancy and let me see if they get a live feed.
407-254-7000. Repeat, 407-254-7000. Every minute counts with what we are dealing with right now. Her mother devastated. And in the last hours, around 10 p.m. last night, a break in the case, but still no Maddie. First of all, take a listen to Sheriff John Mina, Orange County.
This is every parent's worst nightmare. Many of our detectives and deputies who are working the case, they also have children, so they're working extra hard to find Madeline. We can't even imagine the pain and anguish that Madeline's family is going through. But I do want to assure the community that we have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel
like 1,200 people
who
here.
are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now. And we will not stop until we find her.
Over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, specialized personnel, that means dog handlers, drones, you name it, in the search for Madeline Soto. Where is this girl? None of it makes any sense. With me, an all-star panel. But first, I want to go out to Hannah McKenzie, joining us out of Orlando, investigative reporter, Fox 35. Hannah McKenzie, thank you for being with us. Hannah, tell me about the morning that Maddie disappeared.
Okay, so Maddie was last seen around 8:30 a.m. on Monday, February 26th. She was dropped off outside, about a block away from her middle school, which was Hunters Creek Middle School. But she never actually made it into the school. School officials confirm she never checked in, none of her classes, wasn't there the entire day. Her family thought that she was there, but it wasn't until her mother went to pick her up around 4:30 p.m. that they realized Maddie hadn't been there.
You know, before I began screaming at the top of my lungs about why the school didn't call the parents, why nobody knew, how whoever has her, if somebody has her, got an 8 or 9 hour jump on us. Explain to me, you're joining us from Orlando. Where exactly did this happen?
So this is within the Orange County School District, and it's the Orange County area. I've spoken with a number of Maddie's relatives, including 2 of her aunts, her grandmother, and her mother, all of whom, like you, are so puzzled and confused as to why there wasn't a call from the school district letting them know that Maddie wasn't there. Apparently, and this is coming from the family, the school district's protocol is to release a robocall around 4:30 or 5 p.m., letting parents know.
And that's very standard, that you get a robocall. They're not manually calling parents every time a kid doesn't show up to school. 5 minutes later, the school's calling the parent. It's the parent's responsibility to take the child to school. Yeah, something can happen along the way. School, it doesn't work like that. Usually towards midday, end of the day or something, I get a robocall. Something like that, you know? And by the way, that arrest affidavit, you should question this. Why does it say that it was reported, she was reported missing at 8 p.m. that day? Ask about that shit. Now, there could be some misconstruation or whatever. They could maybe she did call earlier for some reason, it didn't go through somehow, or maybe like Amy was trying to give the benefit of the doubt, which I understand. Maybe the cops just, I don't know, show up at 8 p.m. But I think for a missing child, they would show up earlier, I would think. I don't know. For the new people that are joining, they're saying that, according to this news station, that she was found. We knew she was deceased because of what a cop said earlier, but now they're saying that body discovered in rural Osceola County.
That their student wasn't in class that day. But like you said, that gives an 8-9 hour jump on any nefarious activity that could have gone wrong. By then, it's too late. You need to know where your child is immediately.
Nothing but a robocall. No text, no email. So unless you're at home, basically, to get that call, you don't have any idea. Guys, we are talking about a little 13-year-old girl. We're talking about Madeline Soto. Madeline Soto, just 13. She goes as Maddie. Guys, you were hearing earlier Sheriff John Mina with the Orange County Sheriffs. Now, take a listen to the sheriff.
Mom's boyfriend dropped Madeline off at about 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning, a few blocks away from the school. At approximately 4:30 on Monday afternoon, Madeline...
No, there's no mistaking military. That's the beautiful thing about military time. It's 2008. So that there's no mistake, there's no distinction. 8 p.m. If it was 8 a.m., it would have said 08000. Could be error. I'm trying to give all the benefits of the doubts that you could. Could be that too.
Madeline's mom went to the school to pick her up and found out that Madeline was not there and had never reported to school. So she never actually entered the school. And so we also learned that Madeline left her phone at home that day.
Okay, I find so many things about what I'm just hearing to be very curious. You're hearing Sheriff John Mina from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Number one, when I drop my children at school, I take them to the door as best as I can. I don't drop them several blocks away. Number one. Number two, she left her phone at home. Hannah McKenzie, does she go to a school where they don't allow phones in school?
I don't.
So Mama had said about the phone that is not unusual for her daughter, supposedly. And then she said her daughter got ADD. And she also said possibly her daughter's on some type of spectrum. So according to Mama, that's not out of the ordinary for her daughter.
I don't believe that to be the case, but Jen Soto, Maddie's mother, did tell me it was very regular that Maddie forgot her phone. And keep in mind, this is only a few days after turning 13. So really, she's still a 12-year-old. They're not the most responsible. And yes, I'm sure parents are constantly, reminding the kids, don't forget this, keep this, put this in your backpack. But Jen Soto tells me that Maddie would leave her phone behind quite often. So that wasn't abnormal.
That may be true, but let me go out to Anna Sonoda joining us, child grooming expert, clinical social worker, author of Duck, Duck, Groom, Understanding How a Child Becomes a Target. Just those words right there, how a child becomes a target, are very disturbing on many, many levels. But Anna Sonoda...
Oh, thank you, Stacey. Okay,
I don't know. Just based on every teen or preteen that I know, they go nowhere without a phone. And I find it very coincidental that this day of all days, she goes to school without a phone.
Yeah, that's a really curious detail, Nancy. And I would also be curious about whether or not the boyfriend consistently dropped her off at other locations besides the front door of the school. Is this a common occurrence, or is this something out of the ordinary?
We are trying to determine exactly what happened in the morning hours when little Maddie Soto gets dropped off at her school. Everyone, this occurred in Orlando, Florida. It's beautiful, sunny, warm. So I'm guessing if she were out in the woods, Hannah McKenzie, she would not be subjected to any kind of weather that would cause hypothermia. But I just haven't had very good experiences in my world of children fending for themselves in the woods. So what were the temps on the 26th?
So right now in Orlando, it has been beautiful weather. It's been kind of cool.
It said a lot of people asking about, let's see. Oh, if she's alive. Okay, maybe people didn't watch the video earlier. That's possible too. So I'll put body found. How about that? Body found. Yeah, maybe people didn't see the stream we did earlier today. We didn't have notifications either. So, all right, I just updated it. Um, let's see what else comes. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I got a DM from somebody too for the new people that join. From somebody, I'm not gonna say her name, but well, let me see if she's a Florida person. Oh, profile doesn't say. So somebody DM me. I don't have any way to verify this, but she said, I know someone who knows the mom of Madeline, and she said she feels that Jennifer's behavior is not in line with the woman that she knows. She said that she is a very emotional and passionate person, and that she's seen her upset in the past for over smaller things. She's worried that something is off. Oh, man. Very, very strange. Very strange.
School for us, 70s, and then at night around 60s. It has been beautiful weather, so yeah, no chance of hypothermia. For sure.
At least that's one thing we don't have to worry about. Mm-hmm. For those of you just joining us, a beautiful little girl, Madeline Soto, missing since Feb 26. She was dropped off to school by mom's boyfriend. The mom has been in a long-term relationship with the boyfriend. He knows the daughter. When mom came to pick her up, she had never come into the school. What more do we know? Listen to Sheriff John Minna.
We were called on Monday evening at approximately 8 p.m. Our patrol deputies went out there, met with Madeline's mom at the school near Hunters Creek to take a report on her missing daughter. So we started the investigation that night. Started canvassing the area, looking for any witnesses or surveillance video. So later that evening, while we were doing an investigation, we did obtain an article of Madeline from the house. We called our bloodhound. The bloodhound did an extensive search, which unfortunately did not provide any results about her whereabouts.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were for LifeLock.
Concerned for an emergency. Now it's with Nancy Gray.
And the boyfriend of...
All right, so for the new people joining, the body was found, and it's believed to be Madeline. Who knows? Maybe they'll even do a press conference today. I'm not sure. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. They did a press conference earlier saying they already said they believe she's dead. And WFTV on Twitter and Facebook has posted this post saying that sources say her body was discovered. That is not too surprising after we heard the press conference earlier today. I'm really curious if more is going to come out of this, honestly, besides Dad. Because the timing is just weird as far as that I thought they said in the press conference that they believe she was already dead when he left in the morning with the girl. So they and the mom and the boyfriend were living together. You know, unless he killed the girl in the house and the mom didn't know, you know, I don't know. It's something, poisoned her or something in the house. It's just weird. I don't know. Tower Smooth says, no defense of mom. However, we have no idea what boyfriend did to mom and daughter. Mom behavior could be her numb. Boyfriend could have forced her to watch stuff. I wonder if she's afraid or something of the guy. The way, I don't know, because the way during that interview, I thought it was a little odd. He was just kind of hovering around her and shit while she's doing this interview about her missing daughter. He was kind of pacing behind her a little bit, and then he sat behind her and it's like cracking his knuckles and stuff. Something just seemed odd to me. I don't know. Yeah, she never got to the church. Yeah, she never even got to the church. That's right. It says she was killed in Kissimmee, but then it says she was killed in the apartment. Mom said in the interview the last time she saw her was Sunday night at 10 p.m. at bedtime. No, I think it was her birthday. I don't know if that was the last time she saw her. I guess I'd have to listen to it again because the mother, the way she was talking, almost seemed like she saw her daughter leave that morning or something. Or did she say she was sleeping? She was sticking by the boyfriend's story, maybe not knowing any better, saying that we left and brought her there. I guess she could have misspoke. Maybe she was just trying to speak as one type of shit. We left and we brought her there. We brought her to the church, and she never made it to the church. Yeah.
The mom's boyfriend drops her off. There is actually surveillance video of her out of the vehicle, sitting in a parking lot. I believe, Hannah McKenzie, wasn't it at a nearby church?
That is correct. It's grainy video apparently, but it shows Maddie. We don't know if she was alone or with anyone else, but that video shows that she was dropped off in the area.
Where is the church in relation to the school? When I grew up, the school, Dr. John H. Hurd Elementary, was in the very same parking lot. We shared a parking lot with Liberty United Methodist Church. So if somebody said, oh, you're in the church parking lot, that meant you're in the school parking lot. It was the same thing. So I'm trying to understand, where is this church where she's sitting in the parking lot in the morning?
It's about a block away. If you're standing on the sidewalk and kind of craning your neck, you would still be able to see the signage for the school.
Okay, that's important. Guys, Hannah McKenzie joining us, Fox 35, 1 block away, and the boyfriend said he dropped her off a couple of blocks or a block away from the school. He says he was ashamed of his vehicle. Did you guys see that? Hear that? She was ashamed of the vehicle. Okay, well, can I tell you something? My twins hate to get dropped off by me in my minivan. Hate it. Now, is that the case? I don't know. But he says he dropped her off a couple of blocks away. She's seen in the church parking lot, which Hannah McKenzie is telling me is 1 block away on surveillance video. We know she got out of his vehicle. That's important. So back to you, Chris McDonough. Here is another conundrum. The police get a call, the sheriffs, Sheriff John Minna, Orange County Sheriff, says he gets a call at 8 p.m. Excuse me, isn't pickup 3:30? What happened between 3 and 8?
Oh, you're not allowed to say that, Nancy.
Hours.
No, you're not allowed to say that.
Chris McDonough?
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, red flags here.
No. Y'all can't say that.
Gap.
No, that's disrespectful. I'm kidding. I'm glad they saw that at least.
In between, from the moment they were seen on that CCTV potentially and the moment that they should have been returned home, that time obviously works in favor of the suspect, whoever that person is at this point. And that's going to be, quite difficult to fill in that time until they get somebody into custody.
Back to you, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35. Why the delay? Maybe it's completely innocent. And let me stress, I do not believe Maddie's mother is involved in her disappearance in any way at all. But that time period, that's disturbing. Now, if I can't find one of the twins, which let me think has never happened. Hold on just a moment. Just once when John David snuck off at age 3 inside a baby superstore. But when they're not where I think that they're supposed to be, I take time to call them, to look for them. Maybe mom called her cell phone for 30 minutes. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Texted. Maybe mommy didn't know that the phone had been left at home. Maybe mommy drove the route and checked the route between the school and home and started calling friends. But 5 hours is a long time to wait to call police, Hannah McKenzie. Do you know what was happening in that 5 hours?
So, Nancy, it's funny you mentioned that. We are getting kind of conflicting reports. Obviously, we've requested the call logs, but right now, Jen Soto, Maddie's mom, tells me she went to the school to pick her up around 4:30, realized she wasn't there. She did exactly what you just said, Nancy. She drove a route that was from the school to Maddie's grandmother's business, which was very close, probably within a mile.
Well, whose business? Whose business?
Maddie's grandmother, so Jen's mom.
Okay.
So she drove that route to see if Maddie maybe had walked to her grandmother's business. Didn't see her. Went back to the school. By the time she got back to the school, it was closed. She emailed Maddie's teachers, got confirmation that Maddie didn't make it to school that day. She tells me she called police immediately. And they told her they didn't have deputies to send her away and to hold tight. Multiple members of Maddie's family tell me they just began calling 911, trying to get an officer out there to take a report, but they felt they were being put on the back burner. It wasn't until around 8 o'clock they were finally able to get in contact with a deputy to make the report.
You know what it sounds like to me, Hannah McKenzie? That a lot of people have it all backwards. The time is reduced if the mom went at 4:30 and the call was at 8. And I'm just thinking back, I'm projecting, Hannah. I took my son to a school football game. He plays basketball and soccer, but he loves going to the football games. And he was, running around. Lucy was with me, and he was running around with his friends. It got time to leave. I couldn't find John David. This is at night in a completely different part of town. And I Life 360'd him for his phone, and his phone looked like it was out in a field behind, I think, a Motel 6.
Hola.
Can you imagine? This is after I'd been calling him for 20 minutes. I got in the car and started trying to get to the Motel 6. By now, an hour had passed.
Oh, thank you.
As it turns out, this school's soccer field is about 8 or 9 blocks away. So he and his friends had walked down there to kick a soccer ball. And yes, not far away was the Motel 6. So what I saw was very alarming to me. I didn't understand what was happening. But I'm not going to fault the mom because I did exactly the same thing she did. Chris, jump in.
Okay, so also another thing to consider, to your point just a minute ago, is, she's dressed for a day activity, i.e. black shorts, a green hoodie, and white Crocs. She's not dressed as if she's, in long pants and is going to stay out into the evening, which you had talked about earlier. So this child is anticipating, some type of activities during the day, which is obviously important to consider from an investigative perspective.
Guys, you're hearing Chris McDonough from the interview room on YouTube. Now, I'm trying to figure out where you head next in this investigation. We also hear, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35, that bloodhounds were called out. Where?
That's correct. Bloodhounds were called out near the school. Apparently, there's a little hiking area back there. They brought in an article of Maddie's clothing for a scent reference, and bloodhounds were brought in. Unfortunately, they didn't hit on any scent trails.
Even in the church parking lot?
I believe so. They were canvassing the entire area where Maddie had been seen. I know multiple businesses had surveillance video showing her, according to what Sheriff Mina was saying. So they did scour that area, and I believe they're still out there today.
Multiple businesses catch Maddie on cam?
Yes, in addition to the original grainy video from the church. Sheriff Mina mentioned in his press conference that there was other video showing Maddie.
I wonder if it shows where she leaves when she leaves the church parking lot. Guys, joining me right now, I'm hearing in my ear, Dr. Trace Sargent, search, rescue, recovery expert, and spent a great deal. This is how I met her. She's an expert canine handler. She's a star of a podcast, The Seeker's Quest. And you can find her on Facebook at The Seeker's Quest. Trace, thank you so much for being with us. I know you from your days as an expert dog handler. What does this tell you about the bloodhounds being brought out?
Well, Nancy, it's interesting listening to the timeline here. That is an important factor when we look at all these different resources, specifically for dogs. Dogs have this incredible, amazing ability to detect scent in a lot of different ways. However, it's important for listeners to know that scent, if you look at it from the perspective of a living organism, it comes to life, it has a life cycle, and then it dies out. And there are many factors that can either accelerate or decelerate that lifespan of scent. Describing the scene of where Maddie was last seen, it was very urban, concrete, asphalt, a lot of vehicles. Even though it wasn't super, super hot, it was still sunny type of weather. It wasn't raining. It was dry conditions. All of those factors is going to have a negative effect on scent. And the bottom line is this. No matter how good a dog is, if scent isn't there, they're not going to detect it because there isn't any scent there. If we don't pick up scent in an area, and it's really very fortunate that we have any video surveillance that shows that Maddie was in the area, so that is a big, big plus that we as dog handlers have what we call a starting point. And then the dogs can determine a direction of travel, pick up the scent, and then follow that person's scent to hopefully where they are. In this case, if the dogs are not able to pick it up, you have to say, okay, did Maddie get into a vehicle with someone? Or if I was working this, I would put my dog in a situation where if Maddie is in the area and we can't see her with our eyes, I'm going to use my dog for that. Let's say in a wooded area or in maybe hidden in a building or something like that where we visually can't see her. Also, if I put the dogs, let's say in a wooded area, there's a higher likelihood that scent is going to be more contained there because of the vegetation, the grass, the trees, the canopy of the vegetation and trees. All of those factors are going to help scent stay alive even after hours or days later. So just because the dog team doesn't find scent at that exact location, there are still alternatives to use that resource, but it also raises other questions. Is Maddie not in the area? Has she been picked up? Is she, because my thought is that if she's in the area and let's say she's fallen down and hurt, her scent is absolutely going to be quite strong in what we call a scent pool. So if we're looking here now 4 or 5 days later, she's lying there in the woods, her scent pool is going to be extremely strong for the dogs to detect and be able to go to her.
This makes me think that she has been taken somewhere in a vehicle. In the last hours, we are learning more about the investigation. Has little 13-year-old Madeline Soto been taken away in a vehicle? Is she still alive? The facts we are learning are very disturbing. Listen to Sheriff Minna.
Our missing persons detectives responded to take over the investigation. So they did interviews with mom's boyfriend, Madeline's friends from school. We were able to access Madeline's phone, and there is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods. So that was in her phone.
And I think I know why this little girl wanted to go live in the woods.
Why, Nancy? How do you know?
Detectives forensically examined Stephen Stern's cell phone and discovered disturbing images. Looking into the phone's data, detectives uncovered attempts to delete evidence from the device as well. Images and videos on Stephen Stern's phone that were criminal and sexual in nature. Detectives were then able to determine that those crimes were committed at the family home in Kissimmee. Kissimmee police were notified immediately. Stephen Stearns was brought into the Orange County Central Operations Office to be interviewed, but he invoked his right to an attorney. Sheriff John Minna says the search for Madeline continues.
Straight back out to Hannah McKenzie joining us. investigative reporter of Fox 35 in Orlando. Let me understand. Detectives not only looked at Maddie's phone, they looked at the mom's boyfriend phone, Stephen Stearns. There they discover what they say are disturbing images. They also see where there have been attempts to delete images. Mm-hmm. The detectives state that the images show crimes were committed in the family home, and they are now investigating mom's boyfriend for sexual battery. What can you tell me?
Well, disturbing developments for sure there, Nancy. Not only are they investigating the boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, they have arrested him. He is charged with sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. I spoke with Maddie's family. They were in tears just following this news, telling me it's disturbing, that he's been by Maddie's mom's side, Jennifer. He's been by her side throughout this entire process, and they're very shocked to hear the news.
Possession of child sex abuse material. He is charged with sex battery. Hannah, in the charge against him, who is the alleged victim?
They actually haven't named the victim. They just have said that he is now prime suspect in the disappearance of Maddie Soto.
Jarrett Ferrantino joining me, homicide prosecutor, high-profile lawyer at JarrettFerrantino.com, host of True Crime Boss. Jarrett, I think I know why she wanted to go live in the woods. I mean, if these crimes, according to what we are learning, they are telling us, we're not fabricating this, that the sex crimes, the sex battery, and the child sex abuse material, the crimes were committed at the family home. Maddie is a child in the family home. Now she's gone. She's been saying she wants to go live in the woods. A red flag, my rear end. If your little girl says, I want to just go live in the woods, Mom, I want to know, why do you want to go live in the woods? Why don't you want to stay in the home with me and your dad and your brother? I mean, it's screaming at me, Jarrett Ferrantino, that she is the likely victim of child molestation.
Clearly, Nancy, she's trying to distance herself from that home, and one can only conclude that it's distancing herself from the individuals in that.
I mean, it's a possibility. We don't know, but I mean, if you just, it's not far-fetched, I guess, given the situation. Who else? Who else? Unless it's another kid. It could be another kid. Unless it's another kid. And the graphic details that we talked about on the last stream, I wasn't even expecting that on the affidavit. It was very graphic, and it described private parts, and the way that it came off to me, and I think that's how the chat took it as well, is that the cops were talking about the guy's private part. They didn't say specifically who, but it seemed like they were talking about this guy. I don't think they said specifically who. They noticed a distinct mark on his private part and these like things or whatever. So I was shocked to see that how, and it says, it actually literally says it's him. It says, based on the totality of the circumstances, your affiant has probable cause to believe that Stephen committed sexual battery. So, I mean, this is just, crazy, man. And we've been hearing so many stories like this. So Cinema posted a tweet about just, like, careful who you leave your kids with, just alone by themselves. I think they were dating for a couple of years.
At home. The charge of sexual battery really jumps out, and the fact that the police are saying the location of the crime was in the home. Those are not typically the charges that coincide with possession of child abuse materials. These are actual batteries and affirmative acts that appear to have happened in the home. One can only conclude that Maddie would have been the victim of those.
Late last night, this boyfriend was taken into custody. You can see him wearing a white jumpsuit. That's clearly county issue. Hannah McKenzie, what can you tell me? Hannah joining us from Fox 35 Orlando. What time did this go down? And are the only two charges right now child abuse material?
And I'm really, really curious to see what Nancy, I hope she updates it. I hope she does an update podcast. Wilson sent me this video. This was a couple hours ago, maybe 3-4 hours ago. It says, Madeline Soto search suspect in girl's disappearance taken to Osceola County Jail. So this is a new video. I've seen the one where he's wearing like this white overall kind of. This one, like wearing blue. I guess he's being transferred or moved. Osceola County. This is the guy right here. He moved into the house 11 months ago. Were they mom? Meg says mom mentioned she knew she didn't have her phone or tablet, both of which were dumped in the dumpster. Wonder if they wiped her phone too.
And sex battery.
Those are the only charges that we have been made aware of, at least for this morning at the latest update that we got at around 10:45. Those charges are still sticking. Stefan Stearns arrested for child sexual abuse material possession of, and then sexual battery as well. So I did speak with a law enforcement expert last night just following the news that he had been arrested and named prime suspect in Maddie's disappearance. And he took a look at that perp walk video and saw that he was wearing that suit that you mentioned, the Tyvek suit. And so he told me that that indicates that Stefan Stearns' clothing would likely have been seized and processed for genetic and trace evidence. He also likely probably had his hands swabbed, and scrapings may have been taken from underneath his fingernails. So I guess that is just the process where law enforcement is right now, trying to connect Stefan Stearns with the disappearance of Maddie Soto, and better yet, try to find where Maddie Soto is right now.
Dr. Trey Sargent joining us, search, rescue, and recovery expert, canine expert, and law enforcement. You're an expert in predator behavior. Why is he wearing the white suit I mentioned that Hannah McKenzie elaborated upon?
Yes, Nancy. That is standard protocols to collect any evidence, which is includes clothing, body fluids, hair, saliva, anything and everything, and time is of the essence. When we talk about, again, the timeline, we're behind the curve on this, unfortunately, and trying to catch up, so to speak, and get evidence before it's destroyed or manipulated in any way. So getting that up front and as close as possible, and really covering all the bases, checking all the boxes, because everything is pointing to him. And no matter, as you know, as a prosecutor, we may think that this person is the perpetrator and he's a predator and all of these things, but we have to prove it. And in order to prove that, we have to have the evidence.
Joining me is Dr. Jory L. Crozan, a psychologist, former law enforcement, now faculty at St. Leo University at drjory.com. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with us. People may say, how could the mom not know that there was a sex predator in her home, that she was allowing access to her child? But I see it happen all the times, and I believe the mother. I don't think she had any idea what was going on. From what I can tell, Hannah McKenzie, jump in if I'm wrong. Dr. Jory, I don't think she had any idea what was happening.
I could go with that also because, you know, I've had patients in child abuse cases where the mother didn't know what was going on because of the relationship with the live-in or the boyfriend being such a convincing type person. I mean, that's all part of their personality. That's part of that show that they play. You know, that's who they are in that grooming process. It's an art form that's well learned. One of the points about her making a comment wanting to go live in the woods, I find that really kind of disturbing and interesting. And, we work these with timelines. And first thing I would want to find out is, when did she make that comment and who did she make it to? And I bet, you could correlate possibly the start of any kind of sexual activity or abuse.
Yeah, man. So I got a DM, somebody said, been watching you since Gabby case, but she was found in the back of my neighborhood. That is a rundown trailer and a blueberry farm across Little Road where the lake is. Nolte Road, that is where that connects to Old Hickory Tree Road. And so I got that DM, and there was somebody that posted a couple hours ago too, stating this, saying, I saw him around 1:20 p.m. Monday on Old Hickory Tree, pull over on a roundabout that has a cargo shipping container. He was in one on the right-hand side heading towards Harmony. He was wearing green/light brown hat backwards. I didn't see anyone else in the vehicle. He was outside the car at the back left tire with the tire iron. Looked like he was changing it, but couldn't be for sure. He said he reported it. Also, there is an official post from Orange County Sheriff's Office. Okay, this was how long ago? This was, I can't really tell. Okay, 15 minutes ago. It says, confirmed that her body was found at about 4:30 p.m. today, Hickory Tree Road. Osceola County Sheriff's Office search teams located a body of Madeline Soto in a wooded area. Madeline's family has been notified. We have no additional information to release at this time. Kissimmee PD is the lead agency in this homicide investigation. That work continues. And that's all they're saying for now.
With that, because that's really an escape phrase. I want to get out of here. I want to just go live in the woods.
I've never heard that term before, an escape phrase.
That is pretty concerning too, to say that.
Now streaming on Hulu.
You're supposed to feel safe when you're off to college. Kids.
Boring. Makes banking fast.
What girl says that? Anna Soto, joining us, author of Duck, Duck, Groom, Understanding How a Child Becomes a Target. I was thinking you may not recognize what's going on because your boyfriend or your husband is a predator, but would you recognize signs in your child? Or if it's a teenage girl in this case, would you think, oh, she's just slamming her door and locking her door to her bedroom because she's a teen. She's having mood swings, blah, blah, blah. And I want to circle back to this, Hannah McKenzie. I wonder if they didn't immediately come to the scene because they discounted her as a runaway. Just a thought. But I want to address this, Anna Soto, the idea that her behavior was discounted because, oh, she's just a teen. This is the way they behave with mood swings.
Yeah, Nancy, you've brought up so many interesting points. And I want to first begin by saying that over 90% of all sexual crimes occurs by somebody who is known and trusted. Mm-hmm. Stranger danger is a complete fib. And what we need to remember in this case is that the home is the highest risk setting for any child. So if we already have proof of sexual battery by this individual that occurred in her home in Kissimmee, my alert bells are already on. One thing I need your audience to remember is that children who live with a single parent who is dating are 20 times more likely to be sexually abused than a child who is living with two biological parents. So Maddie is already high risk for a situation involving child sexual abuse.
Can you give me that figure again, please?
Yes, ma'am. So children who are living at home with a single dating parent are 20 times more likely to be sexually abused than a child who's living at home with two biological parents.
I would also add to that the lethality.
Let's listen to that again. That's actually really interesting. It makes sense.
Battery by this individual is known and trusted.
Oh, she's just a teen. This is the way they behave with mood swings.
Yeah, Nancy, you've brought up so many interesting points. And I want to first begin by saying that over 90% of all sexual crimes occurs by somebody who is known and trusted. Stranger danger is a complete fib. And what we need to remember in this case is that the home is the highest risk setting for any child. So if we already have proof of sexual battery by this individual that occurred in her home in Kissimmee, my alert bells are already on. One thing I need your audience to remember is that children who live with a single parent who is dating are 20 times more likely to be sexually abused than a child who is living with two biological parents. So Maddie is already high risk for a situation involving child sexual abuse.
Can you give me that figure again, please?
Yes, ma'am. So children who are living at home with a single dating parent are 20 times more likely to be sexually abused than a child who's living at home with two biological parents.
I would also add to that the lethality in that relationship of a live-in is very high. That's a risk factor, too, of not only sexual assault or battery, but the lethality.
Let me understand what's happening. Hannah McKenzie joining us. This idea of her going to, quote, live in the woods was also on her phone. The police found that. How was the mom responding to all of this?
Well, Nancy, at first, the family told me that was taken out of context. They did say that it was a conversation between Maddie and one of her friends, and they had been discussing the state of the world, and they said if World War III comes, that was their plan to get away. But I do think the reason that they wanted to get out in front of that text message, because that's what grabbed all the headlines, right? Immediately, when you hear that, you think runaway. And that's what you brought up, Nancy. I think the family was so fearful that law enforcement and everybody else was just going to cast judgment that this was just a runaway. And they wanted all eyes on Maddie's disappearance because they truly believe she did not run away and she was taken and something nefarious has happened.
I'm just curious how much time they wasted, Jarrett Fiorentino, thinking that Maddie was a runaway. Her mother has stated that she has never run away from home before. Not once, not ever.
Those are precious moments, as you well know, in the initial stages of the investigation. And although everyone claims they treat a runaway missing child the same as if they believe someone has been harmed, they don't. I mean, this was a very pressing situation. This was not a child who wandered off into the woods. And that sentiment could have thrown off the early stages of the search for Maddie here.
I'm trying to figure out how much time they actually lost. And we know because the school claims they did a robocall to the parents. We've lost several hours. Question, Hannah McKenzie, is the boyfriend now behind bars in custody on sex battery and possession of material related to child sex abuse? Is he saying anything at all about where Maddie may be?
From this point, we don't know if he's cooperating with the law enforcement. The last update that we got from them, they had mentioned that he had invoked his right to an attorney and was placed under arrest. That, to me, is a red flag saying he is not speaking until he has someone present legally representing him.
I understand that grainy video surveillance, which may be the most important clue we've got yet, and I assume that police are combing through his vehicle with a fine-tooth comb right now. But that grainy surveillance, isn't it around 8:50 a.m. in the morning, and doesn't it last for about 10 minutes? Do you believe that Maddie appears to be sitting in the parking lot as if she's waiting for someone?
I'm actually not too sure about the details of that surveillance video taken from the church. Maddie's mom, Jen, told me she wasn't even allowed to see it. She did tell me her sister had seen it. And then it seemed like law enforcement took a little bit of a back step and said, well, it's very grainy. We haven't even been able to prove without a reasonable doubt that it is Maddie. And that is when he mentioned that there was other video taken from the area as well.
Based on that grainy surveillance video that occurred around 8:50 a.m. on the morning of February 26, it appears, according to a family friend, that it is Madeline, and she appears to be sitting there as if she was told to wait, like she's waiting on someone. Now, I don't know how much you can glean, how you can determine that from surveillance video, but that's what was stated by a family friend. What more can you tell me about the relationship between the mom and the boyfriend?
Well, Nancy, it is interesting that sometimes Stefan Stearns is referred to as boyfriend. Other times he is ex-boyfriend. When I spoke with Maddie's mom, Jen, we did that initial interview, and it was via Zoom. The entire time, Stefan Stearns is in the background. He's sitting just behind Jen, and he makes his appearance known. He comes in during the interview, drops a chair quite loudly, and then sits just behind Jen, staring into the camera, popping his knuckles, audibly cracking his hands, and fidgeting the entire time she's talking to me.
Okay, I'm certainly not an expert in non-verbal messages, but Jarrett Fiorentino, you and I have tried enough cases to know what that means. It's intimidating. Yeah. It's defensive. It's a power play. I find that really bizarre.
It is bizarre, and that's not the way, whatever his intention was with that behavior, it's certainly not consistent with someone who, number one, was the last person to see this child before she went missing, and number two, someone who's concerned and wants to utilize the media to get the message out. It's somebody who, at a minimum, is trying to be intimidating, or is just acting strange, not in keeping with someone who's concerned.
And Jarrett, let's just clear something up. He can have a lawyer tell him, exercise your Fifth Amendment. After speaking to him, say, take the Fifth, don't talk. He doesn't have to talk about his child sex materials claim or his sex battery claim. But if he wants to find Maddie, he could talk about that and waive his right to remain silent on that issue alone. Couldn't he?
He certainly can. And it looks like the police gave him the opportunity to do just that. And they said he denied them the opportunity to bring closure and find Maddie. That statement has come out. So it appears that they've even given him that narrow road to say, help us find her, clear up this disappearance. And he's invoked his right to counsel. And you know as well as I do, no one's going to advise that he come in and come clean.
Hannah McKenzie, I'm not sure about this, but I'm getting the idea that what you're telling me, or what this means, is that there is surveillance video from other cameras, business or residential, that suggests that was not Maddie in the parking lot?
Well, it's unclear because initially family had said there was video of Maddie taken from surveillance video from the church near where she was dropped off. The sheriff's office came back after and said, well, it's very grainy and we haven't for sure ruled out that that is her or not. But he did also mention, Sheriff Mina also mentioned in his press conference that there was other video taken from the area. And I think that's just standard protocol when it comes into play. I mean, they're going to go to every business, every camera that they can find in that vicinity.
I understand that, but my point is, jumping ahead, does the other video from the area corroborate that she was ever in the boyfriend's vehicle, that he ever dropped her off? Or did they just keep going? Is that why the dogs aren't picking up a scent? Because I trust the bloodhounds. If they're not picking up a scent, then there's something wrong with the story. What is wrong with the story? I don't know. Does that video suggest that was another girl in the parking lot?
I agree with you. And I think only...
Chris McDonough, is that you? Jump in.
Yes, ma'am. That's a great point, because that would be the pivotal moment that the electronic shift would have occurred in terms of the investigation. If, in fact, they have the video and they're not seeing, the young lady sitting, then if they see the car go by, immediately they're going to start looking for that digital footprint. And that's probably, they downloaded it in a program called Celebrite, and you can get pictures and everything almost immediately. And that's probably what turned their head towards this guy and said, hey, wait a minute, we got some other problems here.
Which reminds me, I'm glad you said that. Hannah McKenzie, what's the make and model of his car?
I'm not for sure. I was told by Maddie's aunt that it was an older model Buick. That's what she believes it to be.
The reason I'm disappointed is because if it were a more recent version, I would know that there was a navigational equipment in the car. So there would be a way for that car to be tracked. That said, if he kept a cell phone with him, which I predict that he did, we would be able to ping and track that cell phone to find out where he had been in that vehicle. The car is being processed to find out if Maddie was harmed in that vehicle.
Nancy, it's Jarrett. Absolutely. That's going to be a huge piece. His comings and goings, the police have his phone. That's where they found the child abuse materials. So they're going to be able to trace, number one, if he did in fact drop Maddie off, or where in any of the surrounding areas he may have gone with her or taken her, could have left her, her body, God forbid. But that's really going to be where the investigation is at right now.
If you know or think you know anything about the disappearance of this 13-year-old little girl, Maddie Soto, please call 407-254-7000. We are waiting for the make and model of the boyfriend's car, but please think back. Were you in the area? Do you know anything? Does your son or daughter know anything that Maddie may have said? 407-254-7000. We wait as justice unfolds. Goodbye.
ABC's hit crime drama Will Trent returns with an all-new season. Ramon Rodriguez stars as Will Trent.
Well, that was an interesting podcast. By the way, on the second channel earlier, we were covering this truck rescue. That's what's on the screen. The stream is still going, the truck rescue. Well, there was a driver that was hanging off of the bridge. But I don't know, there seemed to be some accident. Somehow this truck ended up, it was literally hanging off the bridge earlier, like this. This is what it was hours ago. This was hours ago. And there was a driver in there, a female driver. She was rescued and pulled out, and then I guess now they're pulling out the truck. And hours later, they've managed to get the truck out. I don't know if they're gonna be able to salvage that thing, but they stopped it from falling in. Yeah, man, this day and age is just too much going on out there. It's dangerous. Even not even taking into account a child. Just dating alone is dangerous, right, by yourself. But especially with a child involved, you just don't know people. You think you know somebody. Even years later, you think you know somebody, and maybe you don't. I'd be really careful. I mean, and leaving your kids too. I mean, it's just too much shit. Too much shit going on. And look at Audrey Cunningham. That father was just really careless to me. That father, it seems like to me, he didn't give a shit. But had they done a little bit of due diligence, honestly, you didn't even need to do a background on the check. You could just look at that guy, Steven, and be like, something's up, something's wrong. But of course, they blamed it on God and said they just wanted to give the guy a second chance. And they didn't do a background check, and that he wasn't registered, as an offender. So a lot going on. Every day it's something. I think it's time to play a video, actually. This is the perfect time, especially for all the new people on the channel that's never seen Virginia. But you guys know, let me do a little poll before I play. I'm going to pull up the video clip. This video is from years ago. Years and years ago. Let me do a poll. Have you seen the Virginia video? Let me pull it up real quick. It's better to play the uncensored version I think this one I uploaded might be the censored version. I don't know what the original is. No, this is a perfect time because the Virginia had a message for people out there dating with kids. She was talking about a specific case, but also in general. Let me play Virginia. Yeah, you don't know who Virginia is? Oh, shit. There you go. Internet legend goes off on mothers. I posted this 2 years ago.
Facebook. Y'all know that woman knew that nigga had killed her little niece or nephew, whatever it was. Y'all hoes better stop letting these niggas in y'all house whooping on y'all kids, cause they gonna kill them. Now, that woman knew this. Now, this baby just been put in her custody, out of CPS custody. Probably better off with CPS. Maybe the baby will still be living right down today. But you hoes need to stop this. You hoes know who I'm talking about. Y'all letting different folks all in your house, sleeping all in your house. Man, keep these people away from y'all children. If you don't want them, give them some goddamn body. Bring them to me. Goddamn it, I do something with them. Hell, we'll make some paddocks over here or something. Yeah, you young hoes, that's all y'all want to do is smoke weed and fuck. That's all you want to do.
Oh, this is the uncensored version.
You don't even want to take care of your own motherfucking kids, but you got different niggas all over your kids. Niggas don't like your kids. They ain't with their own motherfucking kids, but they over here at your house telling your kids what to do. You whole better shape up or y'all ain't gonna ship out. Y'all watch what I say. This shit was on Facebook the other day. Somebody said, it was Annie, my niece Annie. Annie said, y'all stop these niggas from coming in y'all houses over y'all children. Y'all know who y'all is. Y'all keep your own goddamn kids. Hell, that man killed that baby, throw that baby out there in that goddamn landfill. Keep your own goddamn kids. Hell, stop having them. That's what you do. That's what your whole need to do. Stick something up in your ass and stop having kids so much. Then you don't have to be worried about CPS taking them. Yeah. You hear me, don't you saying?
Yo, she said, you hear me, don't you saying? It's kind of funny, but it's actually really true. Very true.
Shit, fuck that. I'm every week there's some shit going on about these kids. I don't worry about this other shit. I'm talking about these children. Little innocent children. These niggas, he probably molested the baby. Yeah, that's what's gonna come out. These niggas molesting these children. They don't want y'all star ass because y'all ass wore out. Yeah, you whole wore out. You done had 3 or 4, 5, 6 children, your asses wore out. So the niggas fuck y'all children.
What?
Then they kill your children. Then y'all want to play like y'all don't know what done happened. You hoes know what these niggas doing to y'all kids, but let me find out. I'm gonna call the police on all you bitches.
Oh, shit! 2 years later, in that video, Virginia still holds true. I'm trying to. I don't remember what story it was. It was I forgot. It was one of the stories we covered, and I was fed up too. I don't remember what was going on. I was fed up. I used to go off. Some of my old videos, I used to be cursing. I like these people that had killed the kid or whatever. I used to be like saying all kinds. I was wilding out back then because I was just so frustrated. And I came across that lady's clip, and I'll never forget her, Virginia. I just came across it on Facebook. I was like, I love what she's saying. Joe says, "Are you atheist, Mel? No offense. No, I'm not an atheist. I don't know. I went through a little journey, I guess. I don't know. I was born into Jehovah's Witness, which I didn't like that religion. They're nice people. I wasn't for me though. But I grew up into that, and after that, I tried a couple different churches. I went to Christian churches. I went to Catholic church. But I didn't like the Catholic church. My grandmother's Catholic. I didn't like when I went in there and there was like this whole performance. People stood up in the front. I think it was a Catholic church, and they were like, "Oh!" They were like, I think that a lot of that's fake. I think a lot of people are faking it when they're like putting on this whole thing where they're feeling the spirit. I think it's all fake. So I didn't appreciate that. So I was really turned off by that. And no disrespect to those people, because I have family that's that. So at the end of the day, I just pray. I don't read the Bible anymore. I used to read the Bible sometimes. There's some really good stories in there and lessons to be learned. But I just pray. I just pray and hope that there's, whatever. But I've always believed too that you can't just pray and hope that something's going to come about. You have to take action. You can't just sit there and pray and hope that something's going to come. You got to be proactive. But yeah, I don't know. I went to a couple of churches. I even got baptized one time a couple of years ago. I got baptized. I stopped cursing for a while. There was a period of time I stopped cursing. But I mean, I don't know. I think religion can be a funny thing too. It's really in the person's mind because it could. Sometimes I see some of these people that go out and do some mass shootings, or look at some of what's going on overseas, all in the name of religion, right? Sometimes religion might be the most deadliest thing in this world. People kill for religion. I guess it really depends on the person, But I mean, I definitely believe I could have been dead 2010 with the LSD story. I could have been passed away. So I don't know. I pray and I try to be positive, but I haven't gone to church in a long time. Well, and Hoax said I was going to baptize Marshall once. That's his son. The Jehovah's Witnesses they don't believe in like baptizing kids. I guess they believe that like you should be like an adult and accept the religion and whatever, which kind of makes sense. I think Catholics, so they just, they at birth, they baptize you because I guess it's supposed to bring, I don't know, good stuff. There's a lot of messed up stuff really going on. So, but like, I'm open. If somebody invited me, I'd go probably, if I had time, I'd go check it out for a thing, but I'm not going to commit to it. I'm not going to go 3 days a week. I don't got time for that. I'm sorry. So, but I think it can be a really good thing because I feel like some people, it really helps them out. I feel like for some people rely on it. Some people need hope and something to hold on to. And if there's no hope, then there's chaos. Like for some people, that helps. And I think there is some good stories in the Bible. There's even contradictory stories in the Bible, and there's thousands of different translations in the Bible, and you can read it one way and somebody else reads it another way and perceive it to say something else, and somebody else perceive it as another way, blah, blah, blah. Oh, did they do a press conference? We did a press conference earlier today. Let me see. Earlier, a couple hours ago. I don't think I had any notifications. That might have not been Catholic, Patty. Who knows? Maybe it was some type of other thing that I went to. I didn't know Catholics did that. Maybe that was a different church. I don't believe too much personally into the whole, like, a line of people and everybody's feeling it at the same time and shaking and dropping to the floor like that. Kind of Bebkins just said, I love chaos, but I'm open to any religion. Yo. Oh, man. Missy said, cancel hope and bring back castration. Isn't that a thing in some places? Didn't they do that? Like, they've done that to people, right? Like castration over certain type of crimes and stuff. Wasn't that even a suggestion to some of these, like, pedo people? Castration for, let me see, pedophiles. Let's take a look at that. Chemical castration has some advantages over surgical castration. First, although chemical castration is potentially lifelong for some offenders, it might allow sexual offenders to have normal sexual activity in context of psychotherapy. Using chemical castration to punish child sex crimes. There was an article from 2012. In South Korea, there was an abduction of a 7-year-old girl. This was back then. The public prompted the president to consider various measures, including chemical castration. Wow. So it involves administering a medication via injection or tablets to take away sexual interest and make it impossible for a person to perform sexual acts. The effects are reversible after the person stops taking the drug. The use of the chemical, while effective, remains controversial While sex offenders may not be the most sympathetic group, critics say forced chemical castration violates human rights. What about the kids that got their human rights violated? It is controversial, though, for sure. I agree with that. I don't know what. I guess there's no way to solve that. I don't know what you do for those type of people. I mean, there's even people that are trying to. I've seen clips online. I don't know where it's at. People that say there's nothing wrong with that, which is mind blowing as far as like people that are attracted to minors. I've seen the they call them maps or something. Minor attracted people. They're literally. I don't want to say too much because I need to research it, but I've seen clips of people like talking about like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm like, bro, maybe that's the next phase for these people. Social acceptance, because everything has to be accepted. Gotta draw a line somewhere. And if you can't draw that line right there, that's wild, bro. I mean, damn. Somewhere, at some point, you gotta draw the line. These people, I mean, I don't know where they're gonna do it. Hoax says, fun fact, the earth will turn to fire again. Just how it works. Nothing to do with religion. We may have it one day. A big ball, a comet or something hits us again. Or who knows? Maybe even a solar flare, a strong enough solar flare takes us back to the prehistoric times. Oh, no. Cheryl says, have you followed Nature Boy's case? He's having a trial right now, right? They're claiming he's in a cult, and I thought there was like woman that disappeared. I don't know what happened with the case. By the way, guys, make sure check out Discord. It's our free community app. It's an app that we have our community there. We have over 4,000 people. If you want to can't even talk. Hang out there, get all notifications. You just want a spot to chill during your day. It's a cool area. If not, because some people don't like it, some people feel it's a little technical, which it is. It can be. Feel free to join my mailing group, which I'll mail out if the notifications aren't working. Some people say it doesn't work or whatever. I'll send you an email once in a while. Today I sent out 2 with all the things that we're doing today, just like announcements and stuff like that. If you like that. So I guess that's it. Let me just do a little final sweep. We'll keep an eye. I'm honestly keeping an eye on this Madeline case because I want to know if something else comes from it with this guy. If any other news developed, we know she's deceased, and I mean, I can't imagine what's happened to that girl, but I'm just wondering if they'll say more about as far as whatever. There's this clip surfaced too. This clip that surfaced online. Now, I haven't been able to confirm this. I was trying to see if there's an article. I will talk about this at some point. I just need some more confirmation. But anyway, this page had posted that unbelievable. This happened allegedly at DC Antlers. Students sucked on the toes of adults during a school fundraising event. Who approved of this? So, and who's this person? Wendy, a Fox person? Fox. Okay. I will talk about this at some point if we get some more confirmation. Oh, here's an article. Deer Creek Schools noted that every student who participated signed up for the games. They played ahead of time, and that no Deer Creek faculty or staff member during the assembly. That no Deer Creek faculty or staff member participated. Let me take a look at this article. I don't know who signs up their kids to suck on toes. Well, I don't know. I'm just telling you, this is where we're at. Let me see if it's some type of maybe it's some type of notable cause. Like maybe it's I don't know, some cancer thing. Suck on toes for cancer awareness. I don't know. Let me see. That's the problem. Some of these parents is the problem. A lot of these parents is the problem with them too. Deer Creek School released a statement Friday. So this is a real story, bro. Wow. after a video was sent to Fox 25 that showed students licking toes during an event for the school's wonderful week of fundraising. What happened when like they had events where I don't know what kind of fundraiser events? My daughter had something months ago where they ran around. There's bubbles and all this stuff, and the kids are running. There's music, and parents get to send donations, and like you can send it to your family. Or what happens to selling cookies? We're to the point in society where your kid has to go suck toes. What? Let me see. This week was spent raising money for Not Your Average Joe Coffee, which employs people with intellectual, developmental, and physical disabilities. There you go. I said it was going to be probably something. I still don't understand why you got to suck toes, but the district said on Thursday that Deer Creek High School hosted an assembly called Clash of the Students to pay to attend. Students 9 through 12th grades volunteered. It says they volunteered to participate in different class competitions. If I would have found that shit up, Deer Creek schools noted that every student who participated signed up for the games. They played ahead of time, and no Deer Creek faculty or staff member participated during the assembly. The district also said students were paired up with corresponding grade levels for the competition where students were seen in the video licking toes. Warning, video graphic. These are 9th to 12th graders? It should look like toddlers. The district said it raised $152,000. I don't know. Maybe this is the new shit these days. I don't know. you know there has to be somebody there. Why would anybody want like even if that's your thing, the foot thing? Why would you want middle school, high school kids sucking on your toes? You know there's somebody that's got to be in that group that's sick. Is that really what it is? Sucking toes? I just can't, bro. Hold on. Oh, hell no. The kid's bobbing his head? Hold on. Yeah, they're literally like, bro, I don't know. Maybe that's a new thing. Maybe, I don't know. Bro, I really don't know. That's the new thing. The new parents these days, everything's acceptable. You're not allowed to say no. And if you say no, you're I don't know, you're being not inclusive of people's toes or whatever. Some people's shit. Daddy, maybe COVID. Long COVID. They said COVID had a lot of issues. I mean, long-term COVID, the long-term effects, the mental effects of having these people locked up, having these kids locked up. I don't know, bro. What a time that we're in. Lord Almighty. Detective Mena of Orange County has said what they discovered and told them that the boyfriend and Maddie's death. Well, I mean, just be careful, I guess, what your kids are doing. The links, let's see. I don't know. I don't know. Who are the people watching it? So you got to think about the people that are getting their toes licked. You got to think about the kids that are licking the toes. And then you got to think about the audience. It's like, yeah, the heck? Oh, this was 6 hours ago. Let's just look at this before we head out. This is like a timeline. Just real quick. Let's see. Sheriff Mena video evidence shows Steven discarding items at the dumpster at the family's Kissimmee apartment complex at 7:35 a.m. on Monday. Early. That's really early. Think about the timing of that. What time does school start? Didn't I just say like 9:30 or 9 or something? At 7:35. So did all this stuff happen while mom was sleeping? Investigators later found Madeline's backpack inside the dumpster. At 8:19 a.m., video shows Stearns returning to the complex with Madeline visible in the car. She was driving with her body. We believe she was already dead. Stern is the boyfriend of the 13-year-old Madeline Soto's mother and the last person to confirm seeing her the morning of February 26th. On February 28th, Kissimmee police, working in conjunction with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, arrested Stern for the sexual stuff. Detectives discovered those disturbing images and videos. Okay. Yeah, the body was found, Crimson. You look crazy. Welcome to 2024, man. All right, well, I'm going to head out of here. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe to the second channel as well. I don't know if I have notifications for this channel. If there's chases tonight, more than likely it's going to be on the second channel. Ikid Mel space CC. Okay, Ikid Mel CC. Subscribe over there. Let me see. I don't think I have anything else on this channel. Just double check. 5 hours, 6. Yeah, there's definitely no notification on this channel. Well, maybe later tonight I'll have one, but definitely subscribe to the second channel. All right. So thank you guys so much. Take care. Peace. Be safe. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, we need to change.